So playing the changes is not all or nothing. Have you ever been told that you should play the changes, but you weren't really sure what that meant? Do you need to learn that skill? Is that how all of the pros are doing it? Here's the truth. Playing the changes isn't a binary switch. It's not like you're either outlining every chord perfectly or just noodling on the scale and hoping for the best. There's actually a spectrum, and one of the best ways I've found to explain it is like this. Think of it like zooming in and zooming out. When you zoom in, you're outlining each chord as it goes by, crafting melodies that lock in with the chords and make your solo sound intentional and melodic. When you zoom out, you're ignoring the little details. You're playing from the gut. You're treating the whole chord progression as if it's just one big tonal center. Maybe you're just riding the pentatonic scale and letting the feel take over. And in reality, most great solos live somewhere in between. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can move along that spectrum even within the same solo. And here's how I learned that the hard way. So back when I first started teaching guitar at Davidson College, one of my students came into his lesson kind of stressed. He was a really solid player, but he handed me this intense chart from a Miles Davis tune that the jazz band was working on. And I could see why he was struggling. The chart contained lots of non-diatonic chords. These weren't normal changes. These were all over the place, way outside the key. So I said, let's try it. He soloed, I comped the chords, and it sounded pretty rough. So we switched. I soloed while he comped the chords, and it sounded pretty rough. Really rough. Finally, we did what we should have done first. We pulled up the Miles recording, and it kind of blew our minds. Miles more or less ignored the changes. He didn't outline every chord. He just zoomed way out. He treated the whole tune more or less like a blues and played simple pentatonic ideas over the top. And of course, it sounded great. It really illustrated that playing the changes is a choice. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, or you can really flow anywhere in between the two. So in this video, I want to show you how that works in real time. I'm going to go back and forth between zooming in and really targeting the changes and zooming out and just playing the major blues scale and letting it ride. And as always, you can download the diagrams and backing track used in this video by clicking the link down in the description. So I'm going to use the chord progression for the classic rock tune Knocking on Heaven's Door to demonstrate this. This song is pretty simple, but the principle that I'm going to show you would also apply to complex jazz tunes or really anything in between. The song is in the key of G, and the chord progression is G, D, A minor, and then G, D, C. To get started, let's look at what I call shape number 1 of the major scale. This is the shape of the major scale that intersects with shape number 1 of the pentatonic scale. So I find G on the E string, which would be here at the 3rd fret, or at the 15th fret. And I'm going to play it here at the 15th fret so that I don't have to contend with open strings. So the G major pentatonic scale up here would look like this. The G major blues scale would add one note in 2 different places, and it looks like this. And then the full G major scale in this position would look like this. So one quick thing to notice is that the full G major scale is just taking the G major pentatonic scale and adding 2 additional notes to it. So if you look at this scale shape for the G major scale, you can see that the chords in this progression are located within the scale shape. Keep in mind that the 12th fret is the same as open position, just 1 octave higher. This will make it easier to visualize these chord shapes. These chord shapes, or caged shapes, are the key to playing changes. If you want to start playing changes, you should really make learning how to use the caged system a priority. So first, here's the G chord. Now, I rarely use this full G shape of G because it's quite impractical to grab. I usually use what I call the practical G shape, which looks more like this. But when I'm soloing, I often do visualize the full G shape of G. And here's the D chord. Again, another impractical one to use as a chord. There's my practical D shape. And for the D chord, we can also add this note at the 11th fret on the G string because that is part of the E shape of D here at the 10th fret. So for D, I have both this chord, the E shape of D, which gives me this note, and the D shape of D, which gives me all of these. Here's the C chord. And this C shape is also impractical to use as a chord, but I do use it when I'm visualizing the strong notes in the scale. So now I'm going to play a few rounds targeting these chord tones. Basically, I'll be playing melodies using the scale, but highlighting each chord change by targeting and emphasizing the note in each chord as they go by. So first I'm going to play nothing but chord tones. Now I'm going to play the scale, but I'm still going to target those same chord tones. So as each chord goes by, I'm going to try and hit a note that's in that chord. So this time I'm going to zoom out and just play the G major blues scale over the entire progression. I won't be intentionally highlighting the chords at all, just floating around on top using my ear and instincts to try and make music with the scale. So now I'm going to zoom out and just play the G major blues scale. Not really targeting chord tones. I'm just floating around on top, treating the whole thing like a big G chord. So I am emphasizing the G root notes, but besides that, I'm not interacting with the chords whatsoever. Now I'll go back and forth, zooming in and playing the changes, and zooming out and just playing the sound of the major blues scale. I'll do one round of each and listen to how one chorus sounds more melodic and harmonically locked in, and the next chorus will feel more grounded and bluesy. And you'll hear how both approaches work. and how combining them really makes your solos feel natural and musical. So now I'm going to go back and forth between the two approaches. First, zoomed in. Zoomed out. Zoomed in. Zoomed out. Now I'm going to quickly shift between those two mindsets, and you'll hear the solo will change from being melodic and kind of going with the chords to being more bluesy, kind of creating tension over the chords. So you should be able to see and hear the difference in these two approaches. One is definitely not more valid than the other. They have two distinct sounds and purposes. If you aren't ready to play the changes yet, I hope that you can see that it is fine to play zoomed out until you are ready to start learning how to zoom in. I mean, here's the truth. Many well-admired pros are not really playing the changes. But many pros, myself included, rely on playing the changes to come up with strong melodies in our solos. Most of your epic solos, the ones that you can hear in your head, are zooming in and playing the changes, at least some of the time. So again, you can download the diagrams and backing track used in this video by clicking on the link in the description. If you want to develop the skills to be able to play the changes with ease, check out this video where I go even deeper into using caged shapes to play changes. And please like and subscribe if my videos are helpful to you. It lets YouTube show it to more players. Thanks. I'll see you next week.